Yeah, and they've got Alvaro Rodriguez in goal today. He has been terrific so far this season and was terrific last year as well. So didn't start in their first game, but been the starter in the last 4 and make that 5 straight games today.
Taking a glance over at the starting 11 tonight for the Big Green of Dartmouth. No surprise who's in net.
Yeah, Costi Christodoulou, I mean, he's been so terrific so far this season. And he started, like you said, he's been the only goalkeeper we've seen this season for Dartmouth, and that trend will continue tonight.
Big Green clearly in the home whites tonight with the horizontal stripes and green numbers. Merrimack in the road blue kits with the two-tone blue and the gold numbers and lettering on it. That's Brandon Bojarski. I'm Matt Corsetti. Our officials for tonight, John Jordan is our referee, Rindal Bantool is one assistant, and Ryan Shea is the other. No wind to speak of. Pretty comfortable conditions, if not a little bit cool and crisp, but it is the latter stages, you could say beginning stages of fall here in New Hampshire's Upper Valley. Game time temp right around 60 degrees, and we are up and underway between Dartmouth and Merrimack here tonight. Now, as we mentioned in the open, this is going to be the first time these two teams have ever met. Merrimack moving up to the Division I level in the Northeast Conference back in the 2019 season. Second consecutive NEC opponent here for the Big Green. Nearly having a way to break through. There's Dartmouth. This is going to be settled down by Jenkins in the 18. Jenkins with a left-footed strike just over the bar and wide. Love the aggressiveness, though, by Dartmouth coming out here early, nearly breaking Douglas Arvahar on the break.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a terrific ball by Christian Fed. I mean, placed it off, played it with the outside of his foot, so it had that curve back towards the middle. And, oh, man, that was just so close to being a terrific opening goal for Dartmouth.
Big Green began the season 2 consecutive losses out in California against St. Mary's and Cal. 2 of their last 3 have come at home. Both games at home have been 3-1 victories here for the Big Green over Holy Cross in their most recent time out this past Saturday against Stonehill.
Yeah, and you could really see once Stonehill scored that penalty kick goal to start off the scoring in the second half, Dartmouth kind of shifted it up a gear. They were the favorites coming in, and I think they kind of realized in that moment, we have to step it up or we're going to lose this one.
Now the Warriors trying to strike. A chip from outside the 18. Expertly placed that time. Alexi Unu is able to get the clear momentarily. Now controlled. A shot towards net, and it goes just wide. Laurie Goddard with the opportunity, and they're going to say it deflected on its way through, so the Warriors will earn the first corner of the match.
Yeah, and that was a golden opportunity. Christodoulou was at the opposite post as from where the shot went, so I actually do believe that was deflected. He doesn't misread the ball often, so if the shot was probably aimed for that corner, he went over, it got deflected by a defender and went just wide.
Dylan Bararia over to take the corner, the senior out of Foxborough, Massachusetts, and will instead leave it short to Laurie Goddard. He just had the attempt go wide. Goddard chipping, looking, back post, 4 ahead, just high. Beautiful look towards the back edge that time by Goddard. Looked like he was looking for Liam Ziegler inside the box.
Never a bad idea to look for Liam Ziegler. Had a goal in their last game. Entering his sophomore campaign, off to on a good start. So a couple different players from Merrimack have entered that scoring column this season. And obviously today they're going to look. It's been a solid Dartmouth defense so far this year. With the exception of that one bad loss to Cal, they've held their opponents under 2 goals or less. So excited to see what they can do out here today.
That was one of their calling cards last year when the Big Green went 6-7-3 overall. They allowed 1 goal or fewer 8 times last year in 2022, including 7 shutouts. Only Penn and Brown had more amongst Ivy League schools. Each of those squads had 8. Throw coming here for the Warriors, deep from the far side of the field. They'll reverse field. We've seen a lot of, I guess you could say, attacking up the seams so far. Of course, as we say that, the Warriors will settle down here for a more organized breakout. Bit of rust maybe potentially for Merrimack as well. It's been a while since they last took to the turf. Their last game was 10 days ago. They had a game scheduled a week ago at home against Stony Brook, but some severe weather in the area from the previous weekend knocked out power to Merrimack's campus. Power still had not returned to their athletic facilities by last Tuesday, so that non-conference game against the Seawolves out of the CAA had to be canceled.
Yeah, a lot of teams have had that so far where it's been like a week and a half or 2 weeks since they played their last game, so might be a little bit of a feeling out period for Merrimack as they try to get their legs back under them after that long break. But we've also seen teams that have come out firing because they're well rested, so excited to see what we see from the Warriors.
Long sent ahead here, headed away that time by Uno. Ellis went down, was looking for a call, none coming. Well played that time on the back end. Trenton Blake, the first year, getting his 6th start in as many games out of Tallahassee, Florida. Picked up an assist in that 3-1 win at home against Holy Cross back on September the 9th. Now the Big Green trying to counter. Looking for Wilson. Aggressively outside the 18. Rodriguez chips back to space, settled now by Ellis. Ellis and Wilson trying to play a 2-man game. Wilson knocked down to the turf. Tommaso Oliati, the guilty party that time. A little bit of international flavor to this Merrimack roster as well. Players from Germany, players from Italy, from Spain, from Norway. They've really reached, I guess you could say, across the ocean to pull in a plethora of talent.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always good to have that because the world has so many terrific soccer players. So it's always fun to see teams made up of players from multiple countries.
Fed looking for a head, sent towards the net, cleared away by Bennett Morrill. Beautiful bending ball by Fed, gave his team a chance. Sent back here by Blake. Now pounded back ahead by Sam Fenton. Fenton getting back into the lineup in the last couple of games for the Big Green team. Honorable mention Ivy a season ago. This is just his 3rd appearance of the season. Did get a start against Stonehill, played 85 minutes in that game. Seldom to rare that you'll see Sam Fenton come off the field when he's on it.
And what I really liked that game up against Stonehill was he was the offending player on the penalty kick goal. He was the one that got called for the foul that led to it. But he kept his head down. He kept working hard, was stellar the rest of the game, and then even got that insurance goal at the end to make it 3-1. So he responded so well from that, and you love to see a player like that that can keep their head up and keep making plays.
One touch coming back to Ziegler on the outside from Fieldshore. A touch too strong. Throw to come here for Dartmouth, a game that's still in its infancy. Two shots, so far for the Big Green. 1 shot thus far from Merrimack, neither of which has officially landed on net. Take that, rewind it back, and Ellis will move himself up the sideline. Our player to watch here tonight, the junior out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. 6th start in as many games this season for the Big Green. Arvahar chested it forward, so say the officials. Fight here to try and stay on side, and a throw to come here for Dartmouth. That was Yuri Schlingman in the battle that time. Arvahar, flicking header, moves its way forward. First to it though. Trim Kivage will leave it back for his keeper, Alvaro Rodriguez. Started every game so far this season for this Merrimack team. 2nd team NEC a season ago, 7 shutouts to his name and 0.83 goals against average. That number's at 1.5 currently. Settled down here, Herman Rugland, the 1st year. I think we've seen a good mix so far in the early going of teams trying to, both sides, pushing the ball up the field with some long vertical passes, but also being patient with their breakouts.
You don't want to try and force those vertical passes down the field because you just keep giving your opponent back possession to set up their own attacks. So I like that, a little bit of patience here. Take your time, wait until you're sure that that vertical pass has a good chance, and then let it fly.
Here it comes, a stretch up the seam and a race to it. Touch will be given there by Sebastian Magnon and sent out. Deep throw to come here for the Warriors. Morrill in a battle over there with Fenton. They'll say if Morrill's boots last, and throw to come here for the Big Green. Foul whistled down in front of the Dartmouth bench. Official was waiting to see if there was an advantage for the Big Green. There was not, so the free kick to come just in front of the Big Green bench.
Yeah, I like what the Big Green's doing up at the forward position with Ben Jenkins and Douglas Overhar. I mean, you got 6'4" Overhar, you got Jenkins at 6'3". You got a lot of height up there. Jenkins has a high motor. He's always gunning around the field trying to make a play. So, you know, we saw in that last game, Douglas Overhar seemed to have scored the 4th goal, got called back for offsides, but I'm sure that he's going to be raring at the bit today to try and get that goal and become the team leader in goals on the season so far.
If that goal stood, it would have been goals in 3 straight for Arvahar. As it is right now, had an assist against Stonehill. Magnon chipped into the box looking for Jenkins. Cleared towards midfield but settled down. Brain trying to send wide, doesn't connect. Fieldshore, first man to it. Sent, let through at midfield. Brain, first touch. Brain continuing on. Brain looking, calling for it, and settling it down is Blake. Chipping for Wilson outside the 18. James Wilson has a man in support. It's Ellis. One touch. Wilson in a race around field shore. Into the 18, pulled down, and a free kick to come.
That was close. A second later, and that may have been a penalty, but still a terrific opportunity here for Dartmouth to set this up. They've got the size in the box. And Fed has been terrific all season in these situations. It always puts in a good ball that his teammates can make a play on, although it looks like Trenton Blake might get the nod here. We'll see.
Fed coming over, having a conversation with his teammate. Coming in to see what that conversation was Yuri Schlingman from the backside. It will be Christian Fed on the free kick. Set up by the play of James Wilson on the outside. Blake is left short, a cluster. About 7 white jerseys, midway between the 18 and the 6. Two-man wall being positioned here by Rodriguez. Fed prepares to strike with the left. Bending towards the back post, headed off the line. Cleared away, but a corner kick to come here for Dartmouth. Romay that time, well positioned and is able to clear the danger, at least for the moment. First corner kick for the Big Green here tonight will be served in by Christian Fed. An in swing with the left boot, bending towards net, cleared away again. That time it was Bennett Morrill, head to ball to help send it out of the 18. Battle on the far side and a throw to come. Throw for the Big Green coming. Both sides were looking for a foul, but none was given. Dartmouth trying to get positioned. Fenton deep into the box. Headed back outside the 18. Now just blasted away from the area by Kivage. Magnon wins the header. Goes right down, though, to the boots of Rugland. Rugland leaving it midfield. Now Long corralling in. Fieldshore, a race. Fieldshore chipping! Ball loose across the front of the line and cleared away. Christodoulou came out to take away the angle. Fieldshore had to try and loft it over the goaltender. And now pushing the other way. This is Blake carrying. Blake continuing on. Blake, a strike but wide.
Just a terrific job by Blake there to immediately get up the field. The defense had committed offensively to that attack. And because Dartmouth was able to get the ball so cleanly, outlet it so cleanly, nearly had a chance there on the counterattack. For Trenton Blake, you know is the first goal of his career is going to come any day now. He's shown he has a significant talent, and it's just a matter of time. I feel like he's due maybe today, maybe the next game, but Trenton Blake's going to find the back of the net eventually.
Played with Tampa Bay United and MLS Next. It's part of the development program by Major League Soccer. Mentioned in the starting lineup here tonight for the 6th time in 6 games this season. A promising first year here for Coach Bo Oshani. Now the Warriors pushing forward. Rugland sent wide. A hold back inside the 18. A cross. Sent away from just inside the 6. That was Ellis that got a boot to it. Trying to send Fenton forward. Shielded off though by Schlingman. Left back, Romay. Back long to the wing. Flag stays down. The play is onside. Sent in towards the box and cleared away before it has a chance to get through. No, that time was the man. Last line of defense denying the opportunity there for the Warriors, but it will generate a corner.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a terrific ball. I mean, a lot of times, you know, you want the ball to be up. You want to play it up and try and chip the defender, but just a terrific play by Uno to get there and play that out, because that would have been right to the boot of the attacker inside the 6-yard box.
Johan Fieldshore will settle the ball in the corner. 2 goals for him on the season. He's had those in each of his last 2 games, and as Brandon mentioned, both coming on PKs. Sends this one bending with the left towards the 6. Comes back out to Fieldshore outside the 18. Rugland chipping into the fray. Knocked down. Still loose. Wilson able to control for the Big Green. Now in a sprint. Good challenge that time from behind by Goddard to slow down the attack.
Yeah, and I really like the breakouts we're seeing from Dartmouth. Merrimack getting some terrific opportunities, but Dartmouth doing a good job of cleanly clearing the ball once they get possession, and they're turning it into a counterattacking opportunity. So I like what they're doing. Obviously, Merrimack, the looks they're getting are super quality, so have to clean up the defense a little bit, but I like the way they've been breaking out when they are able to take it away.
Play back and settled down here by Rodriguez. As we mentioned, a bit of a layoff for the Warriors. Last time they took to the pitch was at home against UMass Lowell. That was a 2-2 tie. Liam Ziegler scored just 58 seconds into that game for Merrimack as it's pushed back across midfield. Magnon leaves it. Ruglin heading it down. Now sending through. Fieldshore wide of the 18. Fieldshore looking for an angle. Back up to the top of the 18. A boot with the left never finds its way through. Well positioned again. Uno. Another first year in the lineup, making big contributions for this big green team. Getting the start here tonight, second start of the season for the first-year player out of Paris. Another Arvahar working to the corner will generate a deep throw here for Dartmouth.
Man, good work there by Andrew Ellis, too, on that play. Faked the pass initially, got clear, and then he made a perfect ball, which will set up this throw deep into Merrimack territory.
Dartmouth 3 goals there last time out against Stonehill in a 3-1 win. A scoreless first half. It was actually Stonehill that scored first in that game, the 51st minute, before a flurry by Dartmouth helped them come away with that 3-1 win. Andrew Ellis scoring that first goal in the 60th minute to level the game at 1. Vasilis Miras scored the go-ahead goal just 34 seconds later. And 6:07 after that, Sam Fenton added a third for the Big Green. Arvahar nearly had a fourth that was taken off the board due to an offside. So a Dartmouth team that responded to the challenge, I guess you could say, against the Skyhawks when they found themselves maybe not in a favorable position.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a shock, you know, Stonehill, only their second year up at the Division I level, and the last time they played last year, it was a 6-0 defeat for Dartmouth, so had to imagine they would have had the advantage in that one, but were able to come back and make some big plays.
Blake looking for Jenkins. It's not only cleared, but controlled here by Merrimack. Back to the middle. Settled down by Goddard. Eventually it will come wide now to Fieldshore. Now the Warriors will settle and work back before they work forward. Olyadi. Fieldshore. Touch to the middle. Trying to send Fieldshore again. Fieldshore will carry and send ahead. This one too far into the box, and Krista Dulu will gather. Knuckling punt across midfield. One head, two head, then back down to the turf. Good aggressive play that time by Fieldshore to regain possession here for the Warriors. The ball finds its way back to Rodriguez. 6 saves in that game against UMass Lowell, coming 10 days ago for Rodriguez. Season high was 7. That came against the Bulldogs of Bryant. Throw coming here for the Warriors. One by Fieldshore. As Brandon mentioned in the pregame, first team all NEC a season ago for Fieldshore. 7 goals to go along with 4 helpers back in 2022. A tad too strong on the touch that time by Goddard. Gives room here for Blake. Blake works through one challenge and a second. Play on, the official says. Drop back for Brain. Jenkins. Back now for Fed. Fed looking for an outlet. Will find one in Brain. Brain trying to send Fenton forward, but the pass was behind and picked away. Well played that time by Bararia. Romay. Long loft over midfield. Magnon. Plenty of time as the Warriors will not pursue the ball. Uno. Now for Ellis. Plenty of real estate to work the ball forward. Ellis sending, looking for the 18. Romay well positioned that time. Arvahar gathers with a right towards the net and skips just wide.
He's just so powerful. I mean, just sheds the defender effortlessly and is able to tee up that shot. And I mean, it was a rocket that sails just wide.
Getting a paw to it was Rodriguez. It will generate another corner here for the Big Green. Their second of the match. It will be fed over to take it again. Fed will approach. In swing with the left. Going for the back post. Punched away. Well read by Rodriguez. Ball that was bending in towards his cage. Fed will do it again. Looking for a head this time. Its angle of bodies still loose. Fenton looked to it. Jenkins trying to position. Jenkins has it taken away. Well played that time by Schlingmann.
Yeah, and I like Dartmouth's strategy, though, is they've been putting more bodies in front of Rodriguez in the net, and the goal there is to limit his mobility. That way you can place that corner kick a lot closer, and since he can't get out to punch it away, you give yourself a better chance to abuse that height advantage. So I like what they've been doing on the corner so far. Hasn't worked yet, but
Blake looking to send through a skipping ball, and Rodriguez will jump on top.
there's a lot of freshmen on this Dartmouth squad that just, they're so fun to watch so far this year. They're making big impacts. Blake is one of them. Varhar is another. They just make big-time plays, and I feel like Blake's a player that we're going to see in that starting lineup for the next 4 years.
Dartmouth starting to ratchet up the pressure here a little bit. Shots have moved in their advantage 5-3. Warriors certainly, though, have had some opportunities. Carried ahead. Goddard. It's sent wide. A chip towards the 6. Knocked down by Uno and then cleared. Rugland will be the first man to it. Back to the middle of the field. It comes. Bararia looking wide for Fieldshore. Fieldshore can't get to it before it crosses the line. Over 20 minutes gone here in half number one. Still no score as of yet between Merrimack and Dartmouth in their first ever meeting. 8-6-3 the Warriors went last year. 5-3-1 within the Northeast Conference, finishing second overall. Picked third in the preseason poll this year. They have not finished lower than fourth since joining the conference in 2019. That was a red letter year for them, to be certain. Their first year at the Division I level, they won the regular season conference championship. Curled back towards the top of the 18. Finds its way and sailed down. Bararia left it back. Rugland. Olyadi. Olyadi back to the midfield. Goddard. Warriors being patient. Now sending wide. This is Morrill. Morrill offers it into the 18. It goes instead to the boots of Brain, and Brain will carry out here and now just send it long. Romay controlled his own touch, then tackled through. Jenkins was looking for a foul, but none to come. Rugland, with pressure coming from the backside, will leave it back for Romay. Olyadi. Olyadi continues. Trio of white jerseys breaking down the attack that time, dispossessing Schlingmann and eventually generating a throw. Said for the Warriors, regular season champions in 2019. They were not able to compete in the conference tournament that year. This is actually the first season across all sports that Merrimack will have a chance to compete in the Northeast Conference championship games. Perhaps most famously last year, their men's basketball team was allowed to compete in the conference championship, but they were still not eligible for NCAA tournament play. They actually won the conference championship over who became then March Madness darling, Fairleigh Dickinson University. Fairleigh Dickinson won on, of course, that amazing run that we all saw, but they actually were runners-up in the NEC a season ago.
I mean, that's just one of my favorite stories for a number of reasons. The fact that, you know, it was almost a loophole that allowed them to get to the March Madness tournament, were able to come out and shock the world, so a lot of fun to watch.
Substitutions coming in for the Big Green. We'll see Finn Callahan checking in for the first time here, along with Tom Collins. Jenkins to get a breather. And Brain will also grab a seat on the sideline.
Yeah, Callahan's a terrific. He's an energy sub. He'll come on. He'll make some plays with a high motor. He knows that his time on the field is limited, so he tries to make every moment count. And then for Collins, I mean, he was a staple in this lineup for most of the beginning of the year. We didn't see him in their last game, but going to get the nod again here as a sub and see what kind of impact he can make defensively.
It had been a Dartmouth throw initially. Now it has been changed to a Merrimack throw. The subs, though, allowed to stay on. So on will continue to go. The ball finds its way. Arvahar looking for support. Left back, Collins tried to send it ahead. His attempt, though, Bararia able to send it long. Plenty of time for Christodoulou to pull back inside his own 18. Uno. Ellis. Rugland trying to shade him towards the line. Sent long. Wilson. A touch too strong, and over the end line it will go. Big Green 6-7-3 a season ago, 3-4-0 within the Ivy League, finishing fourth. Second, fourth place finish in the past 3 seasons. A spot that would have been good enough this year to get into the Ivy League tournament. The men hosting a tournament for the first time in the ancient its history. This is Collins to the outside, dispossessed in a battle from the turf forward to Fenton. Fenton can't control. A tough ball to control, to be sure. Possession will come back here to the Warriors. But we've talked about it a couple of times now throughout the course of the broadcast this year. Top 4 teams within the Ivy League will go on to the postseason tournament. They'll still be a regular season champion, but also a chance as well. This one, it's through, alone, in front, and striking and scoring! Blake finally breaks through. The first ever collegiate goal for the first-year player. And Dartmouth takes a 1-0 lead.
I told you he was due. Terrific run on a terrific ball that was played through, and then the calmness to finish on the near side and put it right by Rodriguez, who saved plenty of similar shots to that in his time. Gotta love what you've been seeing from Blake so far this season, and this is going to be the first goal of many. Mark it down. He's going to have so many goals for the Dartmouth Big Green in his career.
The fantastically prescient Brandon Bojarski calling his shot and saying that Trenton Blake was going to find the back of the net sometime soon. He does here tonight in the game's 27th minute to give Dartmouth a 1-0 lead. And your goal scored by your Cabot sharpshooter, Trenton Blake. Hurry up and grab your bag of cheesy popcorn today and let your taste buds embark on a flavor-packed journey. Get ready to pop, crunch, and savor because you deserve nothing but the cheesiest and the best. Brought to you by the Farmer Companies. Sebastian Magnon with the assist. First assist of the season from Magnon. But Blake breaking in calmly that time. No panic in the first year, and then just tucking it inside the near side post.
I mean, and for Magnon, he's played over 1,500 minutes on the field in his career. That's actually his first career assist, too. So exciting for him getting into the scorebook for the first time in his career.
Scoring upswing as of late for this Big Green team. 7 goals over their last 3 games after scoring just 1 in their opening 2. Yeah. It's early and the sample size is small, but 1.6 goals per game and 8 total goals. Those totals are both first among Ivy League schools.
Well, it's like we mentioned before. I mean, there's a lot of freshmen on this team. So they're finally starting to build that chemistry between everybody. There's a couple sophomores, too, that are taking on much bigger roles this season. So exciting to see the team start to gel.
Feel sure. Surveys. Too strong on the touch that time. Ellis calmly back. Sent ahead. Callahan, trouble with the initial touch. Oliati leaves it back here for Romay. Romay's gone the distance in each of his last 2 games. 3 times overall. He's played the full 90 here this season. And just 5 contests. Second team NEC a season ago for the junior out of Rome, Italy. Wilson, a good boot. Arvahar hunting. Romay first to it. Goddard sent back to space. Oriati returns to Goddard. Callahan in pursuit from behind. Ahead it will come to Schlingmann. Feelshore looking to send Schlingmann a race to it. And first to it was Magnon, just to clear it over the sideline and settle the action down. Feelshore. Wilson in a battle. Play on seems to be the theme of the night so far. Merrimack was looking for a foul, but none coming. Arvahar flicking. And a free kick coming now here for Merrimack. Romay. Bararia leaving it back. Finds its way back across. Romay back to Kivaj. Kivaj going long, looking here for Schlingmann. Schlingmann, Magnon. A pair of 18s go shoulder to shoulder off the white boots last, so a deep throw coming here for the Warriors. We're approaching the final third of play here in half number one between Merrimack and Dartmouth. Big Green breaking through first. Trenton Blake in the 27th minute. This one sent midway into the 18. A turn. Uno was able to pull the arm back in time. Now a cross coming. Christodoulou plucks it from the sky.
Yeah, good work. I mean, we saw a lot of Dartmouth attack, so Christodoulou stays sharp and is able to make the play there. Elevating, high pointing it, and just taking it away. Someone lost a cleat too. Oh, it's Schlingmann who's trying to trail the play with one boot.
Callahan to Arvahar. Outside. Left for Wilson. Wilson will settle the action down. Now Wilson stood up. Well done on the back end that time. Feelshore showing the entirety of his game. Substitution coming in right now.
This will allow Schlingmann to run over and grab his shoe, which is currently sitting by the Dartmouth goal.
Kate Kiesling will check in for the first time here tonight. And Ian Mackin, a pair of 19s. I think we're going to get a stop on the clock here. And we indeed will get a stop. Christodoulou will trot over and grab it now as Schlingmann.
It just flew off right in front of the
Christodoulou got good distance on that throw.
I was going to say. It just flew off, and he initially threw it by the goal because you don't want it to be right in front of you. So, yeah, that was a funny sequence, especially because he immediately came down the field and was trying to make a play on Ellis with the one shoe on, and it looks like he is subbing off here, so we'll have time to tie it better.
He's looking for an explanation, I think, from the referee's assistant about why play was not stopped initially, and he'll make his way off to the bench. All that resulting in a throw coming here for Dartmouth. When all is said and done. Wilson back to Ellis. The pivot will leave now for Wilson. Tries to serve in. Feelshore showing the entirety of his game here tonight. He's made a couple of nice plays. Denying entry to Ellis, but it goes to Callahan inside the 18. Back out it will come. Now Ellis sends it in low. A heel flick. Now a strike. Never finds its way through. Shot came there from Wilson. Deflected off of a Merrimack body. And now the Warriors trying to counter quickly, but Kivaj can't control. Mentioned the first years on this team here for the Big Green. Some outstanding sophomores as well. James Wilson showing his skill and quality here tonight. We've not seen Oscar Magnuson this evening. Possible he might be getting maybe a bit of a breather before they start diving into heavier conference play.
And I mean, and Wilson, played tremendously in their last game. Had that assist to Vasilis Miras, which scored the go-ahead goal mere minute, like less than a minute after the initial goal by Ellis. So played well, earned himself a spot in the starting lineup today. I think he's made the most of it. A couple of big plays, and I think, still a lot of game left.
We've seen, of course, Sam Fenton back on the pitch now the last 3 games for the Big Green himself, just a sophomore. A lot of underclass talent here on this Dartmouth team for Coach Bo O'Shaughnessy. Olyadi, the grad student, leaves it back. Kivaj, long ahead, first head to it. Uno, now settled. Beautiful touch coming that time from Fed to help try and get possession back. But it comes back to the Warriors. Fielshore tries to carry to the inside, works his way past Wilson. Rugland will leave it back here. Kivaj, touch to Romay. Romay from the center back position, looks to reverse field. Well hustled that time by Morrill to help keep it in. Magnon will just flick and send it over the sideline and well clear. Substitution coming in for the Big Green at the moment. Jair White into the game for the first time here today. And Raul Vargas will check in here for the first time in 2023, the sophomore of Costa Rica. 3 appearances for Dartmouth back in the 2022 season.
And Vargas listed as a midfielder, but looks like he's going to start up on that front line.
Into the newly checked in White. Olyadi takes the return. Olyadi towards the 18, to the outside. Goddard chipping, looking for a head, and it's just wide. Beautiful ball sent in that time. Was looking to try and land it to Liam Ziegler, the 6'2" target, right outside the 6.
Did a great job to make contact, and with those headers, a lot of times it's really tough to locate. Was working by a couple different guys, kind of fading away almost when he made contact, which is why it sailed wide on him. So it was a nice job just to get contacts in general. So, but good to see for Merrimack. You send it across, you find a striker inside the box. They had a lot of opportunities early, but it's been mostly Dartmouth since then.
This comes ahead, a foul back behind the play. Free kick coming. Magnon looking for an explanation here. I believe the foul was on Jair White. It was against Fed. So free kick coming here for the Big Green just across midfield. Fed to take it. He'll allow Fenton to move ahead. Lofting, edge of the 18. Fielshore got to it first. Headed back into the box. A race towards the 6. But Rodriguez out quickly.
And what a ball on that pass.
Living ahead for Fielshore. Challenged, though, by Collins. Collins wins possession. Down the line for Ellis. Ellis dispossessed from behind. It comes back and finds Fielshore. Touch to the middle of the field to Ziegler. Ziegler has Fielshore breaking through. Has Mackin on with him in support. Johan Fielshore. A left-footed strike into the 18, let through off the heel of Goddard. And Christodoulou will just settle it down.
Yeah, Goddard would have been a fantastic first touch there if he'd been able to keep that down in front. Kind of played it spinning off the side of his boot and just couldn't quite time that spin well enough to completely control the ball. So a couple times here, Dartmouth has survived opportunities by Merrimack where that last piece of the buildup is just not quite there. So got to be encouraged that, you're getting those opportunities, but for Merrimack, got to execute and got to finish them off.
Fielshore looking for Goddard. Goddard, a chip. Mackin into the 18. Mackin with Christodoulou coming out. Christodoulou makes the stop. An aggressive play by the Dartmouth keeper to take away the angle, and he secures the save. Vargas trying to work down the line against Kivage. Vargas. Kivage comes back in front, and then Vargas whistled for the foul.
Yeah, so let's take another look at this save here. Just a terrific job. Knew the exact right moment. That touch comes off his line, knows that by the time he gets to the shot, he's not going to have a great angle, and then doesn't allow any sort of rebound off the initial shot. Just eats the ball. And that's what makes Christodoulou so terrific, is it's just you don't get a lot of rebounds off of him. You don't get those second chance opportunities.
Now the Warriors trying to counter again. This is Goddard. Works through a challenge. Punched away. Well played. Collins tried to return on the far side, but the pass too far in front that time of Kiesling. It'll come wide. Fieldshore. Bararia looking for a handball that will be whistled down. That one just jumped up and caught Bararia as he was moving forward, as every soccer player does. They try to nonchalant their way through it. That one out in the open and the obvious.
Well, if you acknowledge it, you know, they'll make the call every time. You got to hope sometimes that you get lucky that it was an angle the referee didn't see. You know, life isn't like that Gatorade commercial where the basketball player calls the ball out on himself, you know. Got to play it coy, and if the referee misses the call, they miss the call.
Fed trying to return. Beautiful foot there by Fieldshore to help come away with it. Bararia leaving it back. Kivage. Moro returns to Kivage. Bararia. Wide now for Bennett Morrill. Sixth start of the season now for Morrill. Jair White. They'll take their time. Romay in the orange boots, sending long. Fieldshore trying to work his way through Ellis. Ellis goes down, foul, whistled down. Ellis trying to work his way up off the turf.
Funny, Alexi Uno kind of gave him a nudge when he was trying to get up and knocked him back down and just said, hey, man, take your time. You know, breathe. You don't have to hop out back up right away.
John Jordan put a stop on the clock. With just under 5.5 minutes to go here, half number one. The only goal we have seen thus far, Trenton Blake, the first ever collegiate tally, coming in the 27th minute. Sebastian Magnon with the assist. Wilson, the 50-50 ball off of his head last, they'll say. Fieldshore, and with the throw quickly. Romay. We'll leave back now for Rodriguez. And returns now to Carlo Romay. Vargas pursues on that far side. Kivage will leave back for Romay. Bararia now looking. Warriors certainly like to try and send Fieldshore up the wing. Flicks ahead, looking for Goddard into the 18. No problem for Christodoulou. No secret where the Warriors want to try and attack here tonight. They are sending Fieldshore and sending him off. And
well, he's just so terrific off those first touches. Every single time it drops right at his feet, which allows him to quickly look to set up his teammates or make his next move. You know, one of my favorite analogies about making decisions was Matt Bonner. I went to a basketball camp of his a couple years ago for the Spurs. He mentioned that Popovich had this idea that within the first second of you touching the ball, you already need to know what you're going to do next. And it feels like with Fieldshore, he just effortlessly, he knows what the right move to make is, and he immediately gets right to it. So that really sets him apart, that experience and then that ability to just read the game so well.
Started all but one game so far in his Merrimack career. Battle in the corner. See the ball roll over the end line, and a corner kick to come here for Dartmouth. believe that was the signal from our official, and that it is indeed going to be a corner. Nope, it's going to be a throw. I thought he pointed to the corner initially.
Well, in this situation, and this is the right move, you know, Fenton gets the most distance on these throws, so this is the guy you want in the game in this situation because he can throw it right inside the 18 if he so chooses.
Fenton towards the edge of the 6, takes the deflection. Rodriguez to it quickly, but not quickly enough. It should be a corner. Now the officials are going to get together and have a chat. Clock will stop with 2:55, and it seems as though our referee, John Jordan's had enough of the chatter in case the wipeout signal there to everybody else behind him was not emphatic enough.
It wasn't even just one team that time. It felt like it was everybody. You have Dartmouth arguing it shouldn't have even been a throw initially. You've got Merrimack arguing that the ball didn't go out of play and that it was fielded cleanly by Rodriguez. And so the flag must have been up for offsides.
I think that's correct.
Okay.
The official on this side, the assistant, still has his flag in the air, Ryan Shea. So offsides officially the call. Callahan flicks, beautiful ball. Wilson trying to send Vargas. Vargas continuing to pursue. Sent out deep towards the corner. A throw coming here for Dartmouth. Romay doing all he could that time to deny Vargas the opportunity.
Man, I can't get over that pass by Callahan. Was able to kind of flick it up to James Wilson, started this whole sequence.
Ellis on the throw. Will take the return from Wilson. Ellis looking to try and chip it through. It's denied. Ellis back to it as Collins. Uno. Token pressure coming. He'll send back to Christodoulou. As we trickle inside, 2 minutes remaining here in half number 1. Christodoulou's got to get rid of it. Long loft. Foul, whistled down that time. Callahan with the elbow up.
Yeah, definitely hindered him a little bit. You could kind of see when he was trying to push forward, impacted the elbow and had to bounce back. So easy call there for the official.
It comes to White. Left wide. Now it's worked back. Kivage. Warriors looking for one final opportunity as the first half starts to draw down to a close. Vargas too strong over the sideline. Throw coming from too far forward for the officials' liking. Morrill will send into White now. Olyadi. No surprise, it's Fieldshore. Goddard. Goddard working through traffic. Announcement for less than a minute comes out. Bararia tries to send wide, read by Kiesling. Bit of a miss hit. It goes over the Dartmouth bench. Morrill over to it quickly. Leaves it back now for Kivage with 45 ticks to go in half number 1. Romay. Olyadi. Chipping towards the 18. Magnon, a header that pops up. Fenton to it. Collins will whip and clear towards midfield. Romay back to Olyadi. Fieldshore. Goddard, a turn. Goddard tries to push it through. Ellis comes to it, just sends into space. And now blasted ahead here by Wilson. Callahan to give chase in the final seconds. Sent back to the keeper, Rodriguez. Rodriguez will just watch the final seconds tick down as he dribbles outside his 18. 45 minutes in the books here from Hanover. Dartmouth with a 1-0 lead on Merrimack here at the end of half number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good half by both teams. I think, you know, obviously the scoreboard benefits Dartmouth. They had that terrific goal. But for Merrimack, I mean, you've had your opportunities. They had a lot of dangerous balls that bounced into the middle of the 6 that they just haven't been able to get through that defense yet. It was either saved by defender or by Christodoulou. But I'm really excited to see what they bring in the second half. Each of these two teams are surely going to make some adjustments, and both team wants to end with a win in their non-conference play.
Trenton Blake, the first year with his first ever collegiate tally, coming into the game's 27th minute. That's all the scoring we have thus far. We'll step aside, take a timeout here from Hanover, come back and talk a little bit more about what's gone on in half number 1. You're watching the Ivy League on ESPN.
Life needs great teammates. Be there for yours. With retirement, benefits, and life insurance products, Symetra is your teammate for whatever lies ahead.
The future is threatened by enemies often unpredictable. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
We want it all. We want our dog to fetch it.
Drop it.
And drop it. We want to fix it ourselves. And actually fix it. We want to order the market price lobster. And know the market price of the lobster.
How much is...
Whatever the market says.
Sadly, we can't have it all. Except at Sport Clips, where we check in with the pros in men's hair and totally check out with pure, uninterrupted relaxation. Sport Clips. It's a game changer.
Okay, we'll see. And if I win, spa night.
Good luck, Mom.
Okay, guys, this is for the spa night.
For hanging with the boys.
Look at Mom. I'm coming for you, Lamar. Yes, bring the feet. And she won!
Ah! Beginner's luck.
Nintendo Switch is our way to play.
I mean, I do feel relaxed.
Why do I choose a sleep number smart bed?
So I can keep them all guessing.
So I know their game better than they do.
So I can take my game to the next level.
Because when your bed is this smart, you sleep at the right temperature all night. That's why 80% of NFL players choose the Sleep Number Smart Bed.
Honda's hybrid game is strong, with the Honda Accord Hybrid and the CR-V Hybrid on the field starting at just $32,895. Honda hybrids never need to be plugged in. The onboard system charges the battery for you. Go further with hybrids that get up to 46 miles per gallon and 614 miles per tank, starting at $32,895. It's game on. Drive a Honda hybrid at your local Honda dealer today.
Halftime here in Hanover at Burnham Field. Men's non-conference soccer coming your way tonight on ESPN+. Dartmouth with a 1-0 lead over Merrimack after the first 45 of play. I'm Matt Corsetti alongside Brandon Bojarski. Thanks for being with us here tonight, and we get a look at some of the highlights coming here in half number 1. Dartmouth, a 7-6 shots advantage in this one, a 3-1 advantage in shots on goal. And there we see the first ever collegiate tally for the first year, Trenton Blake.
And I love this save, too, because you can read what Chris Todulo does is on that last touch, that last dribble, he immediately starts his run and is able to completely cut off the angle to shoot. Just a terrific save in the one-on-one, which has allowed Dartmouth to maintain this 1-0 lead.
We hit on some of the numbers there in half number 1, taking a deeper dive on some of those numbers. Fouls relatively calm as we knock on wood through half number 1. 6-3. Merrimack has been whistled for more infractions so far. Corners nearly even, and Merrimack actually holding the better of the possession in the first half.
Yeah, and that was one of those ones where, you would assume it would have been Dartmouth from the shots on goal and the corners, but no, Merrimack did a terrific job controlling possession. They know when to play it safe, and then they take their time, and when the opportunity presents itself, then they make their push. So, like I said before, a lot of opportunities for Merrimack, but all that matters is that they execute on those opportunities in the second half.
9 games left on the slate for the Warriors this season, only one of which is non-conference, not including tonight. That's against Northeastern on October the 24th. But as you see, they're going to take a deep dive into conference play within the Northeast Conference, starting up on the 24th. This coming Sunday, I should say. Now, looking over on the Big Green side of things, they also will have a non-conference contest coming up a little bit later on this year when they take on the University of Vermont at home, a game you can catch right here on ESPN+. They also have the Bulldogs of Bryant coming into town on October the 3rd, but their next 2 contests will be Ancient Eight contests within the Ivy League as conference play gets started in full swing. If you're going to be venturing to New Hampshire's Upper Valley to take in a Big Green soccer game this season. For a unique place to stay that is close to campus, check out the Norwich Inn. Since 1797, the inn has been known for vintage charm while providing the modern conveniences expected by today's traveler. And their 22-room addition is a fitting complement to the historic main inn. You can also enjoy informal dining and handcrafted ales brewed on site at their Jasper Murdoch's Ale House restaurant. The Norwich Inn is conveniently located on Main Street in Norwich, Vermont, just 1.5 miles from Dartmouth College, and has plenty of free parking. You can check them out at norwichinn.com. As you see on your screen, we are at the half here in Hanover, 1-0, Dartmouth in front of Merrimack. We'll take another timeout and come back and talk a little bit more about this one and what else is going on in Big Green Athletics. You're watching the Ivy League on ESPN.
Life needs great teammates. Be there for yours. With retirement, benefits, and life insurance products, Symetra is your teammate for whatever lies ahead.
The future is threatened by enemies often unimaginable. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
We want it all. We want our dog to fetch it.
Drop it.
And drop it. We want to fix it ourselves. And actually fix it. We want to order the market price lobster. And know the market price of the lobster.
How much is... Whatever the market says.
Sadly, we can't have it all. Except at Sport Clips, where we check in with the pros in men's hair and totally check out with pure, uninterrupted relaxation. Sport Clips. It's a game changer.
Why do I choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
So I can keep them all guessing.
So I know their game better than they do.
So I can take my game to the next level.
Because when your bed is this smart, you sleep at the right temperature all night. That's why 80% of NFL players choose the Sleep Number smart bed.
If you thought the Florida heat was insane, wait until you see our prices. Hot deals for Hot Wheels are being served now through Labor Day at Vista Volkswagen. Drive a new 2023 Taos or a new 2023 Tiguan with 1.9% APR financing available. Plus, every new Volkswagen model comes with 3 years of complimentary maintenance. Don't wait for these Labor Day savings to cool off. Get your hot deal today at Vista Volkswagen. Discover your Vista.
Halftime here in Hanover, 1-0. Dartmouth is in front of Merrimack. And this non-conference contest tonight, I'm Matt Corsetti alongside Brandon Bojarski. Thanks for being with us here this evening. And we're actually going to take a look at something a little bit different here in just a moment. On July 31st of this year, the Ivy League partnered with the Patriot League to host their second Mental Health Summit. The day-long program welcomed over 150 attendees, including student athletes and professional staff from all 18 institutions. Check out a little bit more from this event this past July.
I think the shared commitment we all have is that we're here to decrease the stigma around mental health. We want to make it a more open conversation, whether it's talking about student-athlete mental health, coaches' mental health. We got one goal, we just got to work together to complete that.
I think the evolution of the conversation about mental health has become prominent year after year for the last decade, if not more. But I think we're finally at the tipping point where the conversation isn't just about how are we reactive to prevent worst case scenarios, but how are we managing everyday stressors and activities.
I have really loved today. I mean, just the conversations. I love talking about mental health, and so being able to dive deeper. I think the keynote was incredible, seeing what mental health in athletics looks like really at the highest level.
Mental health is the same thing as physical health, right? We all have it. You guys are all in the sports space. You wake up in the morning and you do a physical check. It might actually inform how you work out that day, how you approach your training. What would happen if we took the same approach to mental health?
This is my first mental health summit that I've been able to attend, and just recognizing the value of sharing those best practices. We all have very unique institutions, and so I think it's very valuable to sit here and think, hey, that's really cool, jot that down. How can I adapt that for our institution? And it's also a really incredible moment to be able to just have a lot of school pride, a lot of league pride.
I've always thought mental health is very important. The stress and anxiety that student athletes have to go through to play their sport, to compete in their sport, like there's so much going on outside of that. And I think this mental health summit is like a really good step forward to decrease that stigma and to continue to give access and to continue to give thoughts.
I think mental health is something where, because we don't talk about it as often, I think coaches might not fully understand the grasp of what that feels like to an athlete.
If your team is not open about talking about mental health, you have to open the doors and you have to be like, guys, like, we're all in this together.
Dartmouth College has taken holistic student-athlete development incredibly seriously. I was one of few athletic administrators with a sports psychology background, and then since my role has evolved in the last 5 years, I've been able to continue to support a team that is collectively building to enhance mental wellness, well-being, and performance of all of our student athletes. How do we make sure we're cultivating an environment? And this is where everyone in the room has an impact on the environment that occurs within your campus. And all of us need to be actively cultivating it.
I want the idea of mental health being stigmatized to be something so of the past that we can't even imagine not having this open conversation.
Life needs great teammates. Be there for yours. With retirement, benefits, and life insurance products, Symetra is your teammate for whatever lies ahead.
The future is threatened by enemies often unimaginable. When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
We want it all. We want clean dishes and dry shirts.
Oh, man.
We want hot dogs and a body that doesn't look like it eats hot dogs. We want a trimmed tree and an unfractured coccyx.
Oh, my coccyx.
Sadly, we can't have it all. Except at Sport Clips, where we check in with the pros in men's hair and totally check out with pure, uninterrupted relaxation. Sport Clips. It's a game changer.
Why do I choose a sleep number smart bed?
So I can keep them all guessing.
So I know their game better than they do.
So I can take my game to the next level.
Because when your bed is this smart, you sleep at the right temperature all night. That's why 80% of NFL players choose the Sleep Number Smart Bed.
If you thought the Florida heat was insane, wait until you see our prices. Hot deals for Hot Wheels are being served now through Labor Day at Vista Volkswagen. Drive a new 2023 Taos or a new 2023 Tiguan with 1.9% APR financing available. Plus, every new Volkswagen model comes with 3 years of complimentary maintenance. Don't wait for these Labor Day savings to cool off. Get your hot deal today at Vista Volkswagen. Discover your Vista.
We ready for half number 2 here at Burnham Field on the campus of Dartmouth College in Hanover, New Hampshire, between Dartmouth and Merrimack in this men's non-conference matchup. I'm Matt Corsetti alongside Brandon Bojarski. 45 minutes to go in this one. The lone tally in the game, Trenton Blake, the first year, scoring his first ever collegiate goal in the game's 27th minute. Sebastian Magnon and Christian Fed, the eagle eyes of Brandon Bojarski, catching up that Fed was given an assist on the tally for the Big Green as well. We certainly saw the teams trade some chances there in half number 1. It's going to be interesting to see what Dartmouth does here, maybe to try and slow down Johan Fielshore. His play really has been pushing the Warriors. When they've had chances, it's been due in large part to number 11 tonight in gold and blue.
Yeah, and I mean, the trend of this game so far has been that Merrimack controls the majority of the possession. But what Dartmouth has done so terrifically is the breakout. Once they get the possession defensively in their own zone, it's out instantly, and it's immediately up the field to James Wilson or Trenton Blake or any number of players. Christian Fed has had some terrific breakout passes where they immediately get up the field and get right on the attack.
Dartmouth diving into Ivy play this Saturday at Princeton. A full slate of Ivy games coming your way this weekend on ESPN+. The Big Red of Cornell down at Jordan Field in Cambridge. Penn hosting Yale, and then Columbia will make the trip up to Brown. Preseason poll had the Quakers at #1 overall. They got 9 first-place votes. Cornell with 6 and Harvard with 1. So it's going to be a big matchup for the Big Red and the Crimson this Saturday down at Jordan Field.
I mean, you also have that tournament this year where the top 4 teams get to play and will determine a champion that goes beyond just regular season records. So excited to see how that works. And it gives you something to shoot for, too. If you're in 5th place, you still have to play really hard the last couple of games because that's going to be your chance to get into the tournament.
Merrimack has designs, obviously, on getting into the NEC tournament, and if they can win the NEC tournament, the first year they're eligible to move on to the NCAA tournament. Of course, a power in the Northeast 10 Conference for many, many seasons. 19 semifinals, 10 finals, 4 titles, all those coming under Tony Martone, now in his 42nd season coaching this Merrimack Warrior team.
Yeah, I mean, he joined them in 1982, and at that time he was 24, was the youngest head coach, and obviously the fact they gave him that job at that young age showed that he had a lot of promise, and he's definitely fulfilled that promise. Just terrific seasons and just so many different terrific players that he's coached and terrific seasons that team has had.
Says a lot about your legacy at a school when they name the field after you. Martone Mihail Field down in North Andover. Tony Martone, the men's soccer coach, gave Mihail the women's soccer coach down there as well.
Especially to have the field named after you while you're still coaching is something too. Like, it's an honor regardless, but the fact that you're still at the helm and you're playing on the field that's named after you has to be a really special feeling.
Underway here in half number 2. This one sent long ahead. The Big Green trying to look to add to their lead. It's this man with the ball on his boot right now, Trenton Blake, with the first ever tally. The speed through midfield, sent wide for Arvahar. Arvahar attempts to cross, deflects out of bounds there off the shins of Oliati. And early on, the Big Green, not even 40 seconds in, will generate their first corner here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Blake that was just a really terrific run. Was able to weave through a lot of contact, was able to find Arvahar, and he was able to set up that corner kick.
Brame will offer service. The approach in swinging kick, high loft, midway through the 18. Headed down, cleared out the box by Goddard. Magnon, plenty of time coming across midfield. He's on the back end now for Collins. Forward it comes to Ellis, captain to captain. Quick chip to the outside. Arvahar touching through, looking for Jenkins, lost his footing. It comes back out, and it finds Blake. Overruns for the moment. We'll bring the ball back to space, look for options. Leaves it back now for Tom Collins, the senior out of England. Did not see the field against Stonehill, did Collins. Has played every other game so far for the Big Green here this season. Dartmouth throw to come. Big Green, good pressure to get things started here, really pushing the issue up the field. Throw finally comes, looking for Arvahar, the big first year. Deflects. Merrimack was looking for a handball, but none coming. Blake challenges, nearly wins possession back, but it finds its way to Goddard. Great motor from Blake on the field as well, not just speed and skill.
It feels like he's everywhere, and what I like too is he never goes down hoping for a whistle. He'll just stay on his feet no matter how much contact gets thrown at him.
Schlingman looking, it bleaks through. Goddard towards the net, and he finds it. Level at 1. Laurie Goddard, first tally here in 2023. And just like that, we've got ourselves a 1-1 game.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this one gets through, but it does, and Goddard just in the perfect spot for it. And, was able to read where the goalie was coming from and played it into a perfect position where there's no way the goalie can make a save. So terrific job there by Goddard, scoring his second career goal on that one. And for Merrimack, I mean, like I said, in the first half, plenty of opportunities that could have ended like that one. And finally, they're able to get every piece of it just right and finish that goal. And now momentum going to have to switch a little bit here. Merrimack going to be playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Yuri Schlingman with the assist. As you mentioned, for Goddard's second career goal. First ever career tally came last year against Howard. So the Warriors in the big green right now. Tied up at 1. Of course, sitting in their hip pocket is Dartmouth playing at home. The Big Green have been outstanding at home. Now in the last 5+ seasons, including this year, they are 24-8-8 here at Burnham Field. Sent wide, Field Shore. So much work in half number 1. Challenged by Blake and dispossessed. Blake looking for Arvahar. His pass denied over there. Olyadi. Forward it comes to Goddard. Bararia looking for an option. Trying to find Field Shore. A touch to the top of the 18. Magnon will just loft to the sideline and out. Blake run through. Blake down looking for a call. None coming. Dartmouth bench crying out for a call. As Blake is still down over in front of the Merrimack bench. Now Magnon a little hot under the collar. Goddard getting between he and Field Shore.
Well, yeah, and the issue with that play was Blake, the ball was long gone by the time the contact happened, which sent Blake down to the field. So that's why Magnon came in hot like that, is just because he felt that it was completely, like it was an unnecessary challenge.
So tied up at 1 here early on in half number 2. Blake, the man, down on the turf at the moment, scoring in the game's 27th minute. And here in the second half, Laurie Goddard breaking through in the 48th. Preseason poll out of the Northeast Conference. I know we've touched on the Ivy one briefly, but out of the NEC, Fairleigh Dickinson picked as the unanimous team, got all 9 first-place votes in the NEC preseason poll. LIU behind them, and then Merrimack picked for 3rd overall. The Knights are the defending champs, both regular season and postseason tournament. Fell to Maryland by a 5-2 score in the NCAAs last year. The last 11 conference titles within the Northeast Conference have been won by just 3 teams: Long Island University, Fairleigh Dickinson University, and St. Francis Brooklyn. St. Francis Brooklyn no longer fielding college athletics, so the Terriers no threat to try and take the title this year.
So I think what's happening right here with Blake is he's on his feet, and I think he wants to keep playing. So he'll have to be off to the side because they blew the play dead because he was down on the field. So we'll have to wait to come back in. But a lot of heart there because, you know, he went down grabbing that ankle, and he's going to be able to continue, which is huge for Dartmouth if he can keep playing because he's just been so terrific today. So Dartmouth will be playing with 10 men for the foreseeable future until Blake has the opportunity to check back in.
A referee bringing it forward, John Jordan. Blake can re-enter now as the ball is dropped and put back into play. Romay. Sent forward by Schlingman. Rugland looking. A long ball up the wing. Morrill chasing. Kiesling will clear. "17 games started a season ago for Bennett Morrill in his sophomore campaign, making his 6th start here tonight. In 2023, Rugland, the first year. Back to the middle of the pitch, finds its way back, eventually on the boots of Olyadi. Goddard, back outside, Field Shore. Bararia, let through. Arvahar, first to it. Arvahar looking to try and push the issue. Morrill in hot pursuit. Leaves it now for Jenkins. Jenkins tries to dance back towards the middle of the field. Jenkins has it. Tries to line up a shot, but just over the bar. Good counter that time coming from the Big Green as they look to try and go back in front.
got to be careful against this Dartmouth team. If you give them a sloppy pass like that where they're able to get it and go, they're always able to get down the field in a blink and try and set up an opportunity for themselves. So got to be clean with your passes.
Long ahead, Magnon challenges on the header. Collins trying to track it down. He and Goddard in a good one-on-one battle. Collins spins away from pressure. Play on, the officials say. Blasted ahead here by Kiesling. Oliati with the touch out of bounds. Will get the big green a throw just across midfield. Ellis, the long throw. Jenkins to try and track it down. Jenkins in a battle over there with Romay. Again sent out over the sideline. Another deep throw to come here for the big green. Ellis again will come forward to take it. 3 goals in each of the last 2 home games for Dartmouth. Most recently against Stonehill, and then in the home opener against Holy Cross. Jenkins heading through. Kiesling outside the 6. Warriors able to clear. Goddard, quick touch to the outside. Read expertly over there and carried forward. No, for Jenkins. Left back now for Ellis. Tries to reverse field. It comes to Brain. Blake turns forward. Blake towards the end line. Blake tries to center, will generate a corner. No, a goal kick. They're going to say it went off Blake last.
Yeah, and I think that's the correct call. It was nearly a terrific job by Blake that earned the corner, but I'm pretty sure after he played it off of the Merrimack defender, it bounced back and hit him.
Oliati will leave it back here for Romay. Comes over now. Kivage. Eventually finds its way back. Romay. Goddard tries to flick it through. Ellis tries to turn it back, but it's read expertly that time by Fieldshore. Rugland for Goddard. Brain comes in pursuit. Finds relief in Morrill. Bararia. Rugland. Back to Bararia. Oliati. Left wide. Touched across top of the 18. Blasted away by Fenton. First touch at midfield. Knocked down by Kivage. And now Morrill lofting, looking for the 18. No, right to the boot. A shot towards net. Christodoulou makes the save. Loose again at the 18. Skittering on the ground under Christodoulou. But he pounces before it can cross the line.
And the reflexes on that first save were unreal. That was a rocket, and it was close, too. Almost no time to react on this shot. All reflex, although on this one, was able to do just enough there to slow down the momentum and make the save. So 2 big-time saves there. And, I mean, can't speak enough about how well he's played today. The only time he's been beat was on that one play. It leaked through. Goddard placed it perfectly. You got to have a perfect shot if you're going to get it by him.
2 saves in short order for Costi Christodoulou. Able to keep the game level at 1, at least for the moment. Goddard to Morrill, overruns it. Kiesling will let it roll out and comes in with the throw. It comes to Arvahar. Arvahar back to Cade Kiesling. Tries to work his way through, but Morrill that time well positioned. As we've seen so often here tonight, it finds its way back to Romay. Then ahead to Oliati. Fieldshore positioned up the wing. He had that first opportunity that Christodoulou punched away. Setting up the rebound attempt there for Bararia. Now set long. Goddard will give chase. Goddard and Kiesling. Goddard into the 18. Goddard across looking for a touch. It wasn't there, but it comes to Fieldshore. Fieldshore sends it back across. Punched away by Christodoulou. Settled and chipped, but wide. Bararia that time, wide on the attempt. It deflected on its way through, and a corner coming for the Warriors.
And you can talk a ton about how well Christodoulou has played, but Merrimack, I mean, just constant chances over and over again. And That one sails just right. Krista do lose some timely saves, but for the Warriors, gotta have a feeling that if it continues the way it's been going for the Warriors, they're gonna find a goal to break this tie.
Feel sure. The approach and a bend with the left boot. Looking top of the 6. It leaks through. Romay turning. Arvahar clears. Arvahar down. Romay checking on him after the tough challenge. There is a yellow that has come out. So yellow will come out here. It looked like against Romay.
You had to think it was going to happen eventually. Merrimack, 13 yellow cards in their 5 games so far this year, so at some point they were likely to pick off one.
It's the second most yellows within the Northeast Conference, just behind LIU. But the Sharks have played, the Sharks have played 2 more games than the Warrior has thus far.
For Merrimack, you know, gotta love the attack, but I feel like they gotta play with that little thought in the back of their head that if you overcommit, Dartmouth can get back in a hurry and immediately have a chance on the other end. So love the aggressiveness, love how they're keeping up the attack, but gotta be aware.
Blake into the 18. Blake pursuing. The big green bench erupts looking for a call, but none coming. On we continue to go. Warriors now looking to counter. Ziegler, left back. Forward it comes. Goddard working through traffic, trying to spring Ziegler. Challenged and cleared. Have to imagine some of the physicality likely to pick up here as well as this game progresses, the closer it stays. Bararia challenged by Blake. Blake will take it away. Blake working through, looking for Kiesling. Ball back behind him. Morrill to challenge. Forward it goes for Jenkins. A challenge comes and cleared away. Throw coming for the big green. Substitutions coming for the big green as well. The throw will have to wait. Christian Fed will check back in, along with James Wilson. Cade Kiesling and Cameron Brain, it looks like, will take the jog off the pitch.
I like these subs. I mean, Fed obviously is the player that Dartmouth trusts the most on free kick opportunities, so good that he'll be back into the game. And then for Wilson, he was terrific last game, has had some moments in the first half, and we'll see if he can bring some energy here off the bench.
Looking for Arvahar, headed to the top of the 18. Blake tries to settle. Fed in a race to it. Barari got to it first, but touches it to space. Ellis, wide for Wilson, puts a stop on the ball. Wilson trying to work towards the 18, knocked off it. Comes back in possession, working over there against Fieldshore. Pressure coming from the backside from Ziegler. Off of his boot last, and a throw coming for Dartmouth. Ellis will offer it into Wilson. Tries to touch back. Skittering ball that finds its way through to the keeper, Rodriguez, and he'll fall on top.
So what I liked about that play was it was the nice little give and go there with Ellis to set up the cross. Didn't get as good a contact as he probably would have hoped for on the cross attempt, but I like the setup.
Kivage for Rugland. Trying to touch, looking for Morrill. Fed lost his footing, went down to the turf, was looking for a call, none coming. Bennett Morrill leaving it forward. Sent away by Sebastian Mignon. Throw for the Warriors. First third, of half number 2, nearly in the books. And the first ever meeting between these two teams. Schlingman, first team NEC a season ago. Still looking for his first tally here in 2023. Had 10 goals last year to go along with 4 assists. Morrill again with the throw, toes to the line. Will come into Schlingman, touches back to Morrill. A left-footed loft, Christodoulou comes out and makes the grab. Line drive kick. Arvahar heads it forward. Play back here. Olyadi. Working again to the corner is Wilson. Wilson against Fieldshore. Finds an outlet valve and sends it back up top to Collins. Now Fed, chipping, looking for Blake. Ball is behind him. Angle taken away that time by Morrill. Rodriguez hits off the side of his foot. Doesn't clear down the field, and Dartmouth tries to restart quickly. Jenkins for Fenton. Fenton works his way through. Pulled to the turf that time, so the official says. And a free kick to come here for the Big Green. Christian Fed will come forward to take the kick. Fed appealing to the official for Schlingmann to continue backing up. Fed will send it in with the left. Low arcing kick. Jenkins ahead to it, but over the end line.
Yeah, and I mean, that was just a terrific ball right to Jenkins, but couldn't quite locate the shot there. I wouldn't mind the idea of having Fenton come up and join some more of these attacks. On the previous play, tried to force it to Blake, wasn't there, but if you just wait a second, Fenton was coming up with the late push, might have been able to find him, try and set something up. So I like the idea of having the wingbacks play a little bit aggressive here for Dartmouth as they try and get this goal back.
Magnon forward, Fed in a battle with Goddard. Wilson just clears it over the sideline and out. Throw to come right near the midfield stripe. Now a little bit of chippiness over in front of the Dartmouth benches. Arvahar's in there, then a bit of a chest bump. Walking back on the way by Boraria.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know going in that these two teams had never played each other, you'd think that they play each other every year, because there's a little bit of almost a rivalry feeling here between these two teams.
Jenkins able to maintain control for Collins. Fenton runs up in support. Fenton touching, looking for Jenkins, too far in front. Put back into space, but Collins first to it. Collins will leave. Blake had it, looking for Jenkins, a touch too strong. It returns though, Collins will send it back here, leaving for Ellis. Wilson couldn't work it through on the far side there against Fieldshore. For as much as we've highlighted Fieldshore and what he does offensively, he's had responsibilities in the defensive third of his field as well, and he's held up well in that end. Uno able to knock it away initially. Schlingmann continuing on. Has Morrill down the wing. Fenton will run towards Morrill now. Morrill trying to find an angle. Back up top it will come for Yuri Schlingmann. A bending left booted shot. Knocked over and away. Jenkins able to control momentarily. Good tackle there, sending it wide. Boraria trying to look through. Uno takes it back for the Big Green. Now Jenkins for Arvahar. Arvahar has a streaky man in Blake. Blake approaching the 18. Blake looking for support. We'll leave it back up top for Fed, a left-footed strike. It deflects. Wilson, fans on the attempt. A prime opportunity there, but a hard ball to hit to be sure. Fed sent it through, it deflected, and Wilson tried to pluck it out of the sky with the right boot.
And you got to shake that one off. Seemed like it might have turned into a shot attempt, but sometimes you just miss. And taking a look at this replay. Not sure we had the right replay that time, but it was a terrific build-up there. I mean, Blake coming in was like, I mean, he just completely blew off the back line of the defense, which allowed the offense to come up so quickly. Next time, though, someone's got to make a run alongside him because didn't have anyone to pass to once he completed his run.
Ellis read it cleanly. Forward. Flicking header will roll back into the box. Well played by Romay that time. Allows his keeper to gather. Out quickly. Rugland. Rugland will return to the far side. Olyadi. Long ahead here. Schlingmann challenging. Just blasted into space. No one home for the big green. They'll yield possession here as Rodriguez. Taps it ahead to Romay. Over 20 minutes gone now here in half number 2. The only tally we've seen in the second half came for the Warriors. The game's 48th minute, Laurie Goddard, his first of the season, leveling the game off at 1. Kivage. Back he'll leave now for Romay. Olyadi. Good move by Olyadi, create some space. Bararia. Now it finds its way to Morrill. Morrill chipping. A high loft over the head of Christodoulou. Touch back in and a score.
That was
Liam Ziegler with the finish here for the Warriors.
That was an incredible goal. The teamwork on that play, the buildup was perfect. I mean, a terrific cross and then a great touch back to the unmarked man in the middle.
Feel sure it looked like had that touch.
I mean, and then Ziegler just, you know, sometimes you're just in the right spot at the right time. And for Liam Ziegler, that was definitely the case. Just in a prime spot to finish off that goal. And now we saw Dartmouth had to play from behind against Stonehill, kind of turn it on late in the game. They're going to have to do the same thing again today.
Morrow with an assist. They'll give Feelshore a helper as well, his first assist here this season. For Ziegler, his second goal of the year. He tallied against the Riverhawks of UMass Lowell. Merrimack's last time out, and the Warriors have moved to a 2-1 advantage. Just a beautiful ball by Morrill over the head of Christodoulou. And how about that touch by Feelshore, prone to the turf?
Yeah, it was just like the buildups today have been really impressive for Merrimack. It's just a lot of times the finishes haven't been there, but they've started finishing better where they've created the opportunities. They're getting comfortable. They're finding the net, and it's just creating great soccer to watch.
So Ziegler with the go-ahead goal here. Fenton trying to send forward. Jersey's getting pulled and tugged on both sides. Jenkins was looking for a call. Had a handful of Jersey as he was trying to make his run. Now Jenkins coming down. Throw coming here now for the Warriors. Ellis had the first touch after the challenge. Both players go down. Feelshore ahead with it. Feelshore in a race, tries to touch through. Magnon will slow it down for the moment. Ziegler back down, back behind the play. He and Ellis both went up to challenge for that last ball, collided with each other. End result coming here will eventually be a corner for the Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, just a terrific run there by Feelshore. Was able to evade a couple defenders and forced Mannion to play that out for a corner. The good news is Ziegler going to stay in the game here, trying to jog that one off.
Ziegler working his way forward slowly as Merrimack will work themselves towards the corner. Clock frozen with 22:27 remaining here in the second half. Warriors have yet to score 3 goals in a game this season. They were shut out in each of their first 3 contests against Boston College, Providence, and Bryant. They've scored 2 goals in each of their last 2 times on the pitch against UMass Lowell and Boston University. Corner to be taken here by Bararia. The approach and the swing of the right foot. Lofting, mid of the 18, deflected out. Now a blast.
Oh,
that one might have hit Thompson Arena.
I parked over there. That might have hit me.
Hope you have good insurance, Brandon. That was White with the strike that went well over the top of the cage. Will Local will check in the game for the first time here. Spelling Ben Jenkins. Local, the first year out of New York, New York. 4th appearance of the season. Saw the pitch for 12 minutes against Stonehill this past Saturday. Goddard got the goal scoring started here. Too strong on the touch coming across midfield. Arvahar tries to leave it back. White first to it. Plays it though instead right to Collins. Collins will leave now for Fenton. Magnon. Uno. Trickles it across midfield. Looking wide for Wilson. Pass does not connect. Uno will send it back. Christodoulou. Over now for Fenton. Collins with Bararia in pursuit. Sending long, looking for Wilson. Race to the 18, too far in front, and Rodriguez will fall on top.
Yeah, the key in the last 20 minutes for Dartmouth is going to probably be Sam Fenton and Andrew Ellis. When Stonehill scored against Dartmouth, you saw Ellis and Fenton both played far more aggressively in terms of trying to get near the 18 and join the attack. I think as the half progresses, for sure, we're going to see them play very aggressive here and perhaps be a key part of a build-up or a goal.
Race coming here. Magnon first to it. We'll leave it back to his keeper. Pressure coming, so he'll have to clear quickly. There was a nice ball up the line that time by Archie Day the first year. Throw to come here for Dartmouth. As Ellis awaits. Flicking header. Loose in the box. Cleared away. Ziegler. Left back and now sent ahead. Here's Morrill. He's had strong play up the wing all night. Draws the attention there, pair of 14s. As Blake came over. Goddard working past Collins. They shoulder. Then a challenge. Clean tackle, the officials say. And a throw to come here for Merrimack. Romay. White, nice touch. With Fed coming in from behind. Now a chip to the far side. A loft, a strike and just wide. A beautiful ball sent across that time by Fieldshore. And Zach Vlachos with the strike that goes just wide of the net.
Oh man, you could see Vlachos put his hands on his head. He knew that was probably a golden opportunity to get an insurance goal in this one. But it's like it's the case it's been all game. They feed so well off of each other. They do such a good job of finding their teammates in prime opportunities to set up scoring chances.
Arvahar tries to pursue. They'll say off of Morrill. And a throw to come here for Dartmouth. Fenton will come forward and take the throw here for the Big Green. Throw finally comes off the head of Day. Farther down the line, Fenton will move.
Yeah, from this position, he could probably send it in the 18 if he so chooses.
Headed away again. Headed back towards the 18, but White is first to it. Fieldshore. Back it will come. This is Ziegler. Ziegler chipping to the 18. Headed out of harm's way there for the moment by Ellis. Battle in front of the Warrior bench. One here by Merrimack. Bararia carries to the middle of the field. Bararia works through a second challenge almost as Fed is able to take it away. Now Wilson. Opportunities for him limited in the second half. Off the boots of White and out. Wilson works through the challenge. Wilson serves into the box. Romay sends it away. Handball whistled down. Comes against Wilson. Shots in this game have started to tip very much, as you would imagine, in Merrimack's favor. 14 shots on the night with 6 shots on goal. 2 of which have been able to find the back of the net thus far and staking them to this 2-1 lead.
And I think for Merrimack more than ever, I mean, love the buildups, love the attack, but just got to be careful how much manpower you're committing to the attack for the rest of the game. Dartmouth has gotten some of their best looks on breakout opportunities out of a Merrimack attack, so keep up the pressure a little bit, but just don't overextend yourself.
Just 2 total shots here for the Big Green in half number 2, none of which have landed on net as of yet. And will come to Fenton as we approach the final third of play. Bararia from Morrill. White. Back for Romay, as we've said many times here tonight. Back for Rodriguez, which we have not said often here tonight. Romay on the return. Bararia. Now for Day. A chip up the line. Settled down by Ziegler. With Fenton in pursuit, he'll reverse field. Comes to Fieldshore. The touch. Fieldshore racing into the 18, and Christodoulou watches it go over the end line. It will be a goal kick. Fieldshore politicking his case, as is Tony Martone over on the sideline. Substitutions for both teams coming in right now. Finn Callahan will check in here for Wilson. Meanwhile, for the Warriors, we'll see the return of Yuri Schlingman. It looks like Henry Rugland is waiting over at the sideline as well. Christodoulou sends it in before the substitutes are done coming in. Merrimack, as you would imagine, trying to take their time here and bleed the time down off the clock. Clock continuing to roll, now inside 15 minutes remaining here in regulation. Sorry, I said regulation there as a reflex. There is no overtime in regular season college hockey. There's 14:29 left regardless of whether or not we're deadlocked at the end of this one tonight. Working here, Lulka with White challenging. Lulka works through the challenge. Morrill well positioned to help send it over the line and out. Quick throw coming in to Lulka. Day with a strong challenge that time. Lulka back up quickly. Fenton will come ahead and take the throw. Sent down to the turf. Arvahar tried to pursue. Collins racing to it against Schlingman. Fed. Forward now for Blake. Blake pulled down by Rugland. And putting it down for a free kick.
Yeah, what I love about how the way Blake plays is he goes down, but he pops right back up, and even if there hadn't been a whistle, would have still maintained possession for the Big Green. And this is going to be the prime opportunity. They're going to put pretty much everybody up here on this attack.
Christian Fed readies to serve it back in. Fed sends it ahead, just wide. Looked like Ellis got the head to it. Beautiful ball that time from Fed, but pushes it wide of the post.
And taking another look at this one, like you said, perfect ball. Ellis was able to get a piece of it. Rodriguez might have been in position to make the save had it been on net, but shot sailed wide.
Romay will come near side now for Day. Miss hit by Rodriguez. Another throw to come here for the big green. Looking for Collins on the back touch. It was taken away that time by Goddard. Rugland. Kivage. Forward it comes now. This is Fieldshore. Back for Kivage. Merrimack has been patient in their build-ups here tonight. Certainly can afford to be now with a 1-goal advantage, approaching 12 minutes remaining. Goddard turns, leaving for White. More than happy to work it back here to Romay. Touch back to the outside for Kivage. Callahan offering some token pressure. Fieldshore up the wing, has a man. It's Goddard, got the goal scoring started for Merrimack in this half. Outside the 18, Uno able to take it away against Fieldshore. Not an easy task to be certain. Uno, the first year. But a missed pass and a missed opportunity that time, trying to find fellow first-year Lulka near midfield.
Yeah, and for a second, if he had looked to reverse fields, Blake was open, but would have been a very tough task to see that with the pressure. But you got to keep an eye on that, you know, as a coach too. You got to let your players know, okay, that was there. Next time, keep an eye out for it. So maybe the key for Dartmouth will be looking to reverse field and try and catch the defense sleeping.
Day backs up to it, leaves it forward now for Morrill. Strong wing play for the Warriors here tonight. Morrill and Fieldshore, to be certain. The ball will find Fieldshore now from the boots of White, looking to return to the middle of the field, but pass does not connect with the intended recipient. That time Goddard. Now maybe a chance for the big green. This is Blake working forward. Blake sending through. Too strong on the touch, looking for Lulka. Lulka tries to win possession back. Lofted away by Romay. Headed back in the field by Schlingman. Fed quickly to it. Callahan. Excuse me, not Callahan. Collins, I should say. Magnon. Leaves wide now for Ellis. Ellis trying to direct traffic. Uno. Now to Magnon. Eventually finding Fenton. Fenton. In through the 18, leaks all the way to the 6. But no one there for Dartmouth, and Rodriguez dies on top of the ball. Our referee, John Jordan, motioning for the ball to be put back into play. Lulka offered some pressure, forced it to be sent out, and Morrill can't save it from the sideline. Substitution coming in for the big green. We'll see Ben Jenkins return. Lulka will make his way to the sideline and out. Looking for Jenkins off the throw. Morrill gets in the way. Fenton will move farther down the line and offer it back in again. Lofted under the throw. White heads it away. Schlingman taken away by Collins. Collins for Ellis. Ellis for Callahan. Back to Collins. Fenton. Fenton tries to work through the challenge there by White. Off of White boots last. And another throw to come here for Fenton. Looking for Arvahar. Day will head it away. Morrill and Blake in a battle now. And they're going to say off the backside there of Trenton Blake, and a goal kick to come here from Merrimack. Now a stop will come to the clock. There's too much of a delay that time for our referee John Jordan's liking.
Yeah, and you got to stay on top of it in these moments, because all of a sudden those passes, which have been easy passes all night, all of a sudden you're just going to miss the goalie with the pass over to the goal kick, or, you know, it's just little stuff like that. Got to be aware as an official.
I like the fact that the clock is not moving and Merrimack is still taking their time working the ball back into play. Now the clock will wind as we approach 8 minutes remaining here from Burnham Field. 2 wins so far at home here for Dartmouth to start off 2023. 3-1 decisions over Holy Cross and Stonehill as Arvahar runs in, forcing Rodriguez to loft it through the lights and out. Rugland chesting down to the turf. Mentioned how good the Big Green have been at home in the last 5+ years, including this campaign. Play on, the officials say. Sent forward now for Morrill. He touches to space. Morrill sent through. Schlingman looking to return. Leaving for Ziegler. Ziegler to Goddard, returning to Ziegler. Impetus on the Warriors is not to force the issue. A mistouch and it turns over. Here's Blake working past the challenge. Trenton Blake works through another. Day comes in late. This should draw a card.
Yeah, clock's going to stop, and indeed he's definitely going to get booked for that one.
Now we've got a wrestling match going on between Jenkins and White over on the far side of the field as Jenkins was trying to get the ball back. Late challenge there by Day. Second yellow we've seen issued here.
And like I said, I mean, you wouldn't imagine that this would have been the first time these two teams have played each other. So for Fed, I mean, we've seen him, he's put terrific touch on these crosses. Couple big bodies in there. One player to definitely keep an eye on is Douglas Arvarhar. He'll be the tallest player in on this one. Haven't been able to find him for a header so far today. Last time it was Andrew Ellis who got a piece of it.
John Jordan, the referee. White standing in front of Fed is now being motioned to back up. Fed will offer it in.
Well, the official saying he hadn't blown the whistle yet to.
So we'll reset the ball. Clock had not yet moved. Now we'll re-enter play. Fed lofting, looking for a head. Jenkins outside the 18. Jenkins approaches. Jenkins on the turf. Rodriguez able to swallow it whole.
And gotta like what you've been seeing so far for Dartmouth here. I mean, keeping it up, keeping the pressure going. And it might have to come, you know, whenever you see a misstep from Merrimack, gotta get down the field quickly.
Fenton touched that time to Fed. Fed back to Collins. Ellis. Return comes to Ellis. Collins trying to touch down the wing. Jenkins giving chase. Diving effort over there that time by Kivage. Sends the ball over the line and will allow the Merrimack defense to reset. Ellis surveying his options. Throws into the 18. Comes back out. Ellis to try and chase it down. That will go off a Warrior boot last. Ellis in quickly to Callahan. Cleared away again this time by the Warriors. Another deep throw to come. That was Fieldshore that time, making the play. Ellis with a running start. High loft into the box, looking for Arvahar. Headed once, but then a second time by the Warriors. Fenton works through a challenge. Fenton will draw the corner. No, a goal kick, excuse me, I'll say. It rolled off of his boot and out. I thought it deflected. My mistake. Substitutions coming in for the Warriors right now. Bararia will check back in, along with Alyadi.
Yeah, definitely going to put all their best defensive players on the field here, try and hold on to this lead. For Dartmouth, I'd like to see them get Blake a little bit more involved. It feels like their best chances of the last couple minutes have come when Blake's been a key piece of the buildup. And it seems on a lot of these plays, when they're throwing it in from the outside, he's kind of iced out. He's just at the top of the 18, and they're not really locating him. If they can find him, I think that could be the key to beating this defense.
Sent forward. Now sent back. Collins will loft. Jenkins with pressure coming from Morrill. Jenkins trying to work through it. Morrill takes it away. Now a back pass. Arvahar towards the box. Rodriguez has to clear.
Oh.
That one caught Ellis. No whistle coming.
That was a very convenient miss for Dartmouth. I don't think there was any doubt about that one. Definitely caught him on the arm as he ran by.
You watch Ellis's body language after.
Yeah.
Just walking away, lamenting the missed touch.
Yeah, that was one. That was one. I'm surprised they missed that one.
Throw to come here from Merrimack inside 4 minutes to go. Tense moments back at the other end. Warriors were looking for a call that time. Coming against Jenkins, none was there. Arvahar was in a race. Now speaking of an race, here comes Ruglin. Ruglin, a left-footed attempt. Fences off Fenton. Olyadi back ahead. Sent towards midfield. Header won forward by the Warriors. Sent back down to the turf, but White first to it. Tries to frame over the ball. Fed in a battle. Foul whistle on Christian Fed. Free kick to come here from Merrimack. You can imagine the Warriors will take their time here before offering service on this one ahead.
Yeah, I mean, heads up play there from Tom Collins. Quickly grabbed the ball, just placed it right on the spot.
Romay.
Is he going to get a yellow for time?
They might.
And that's would that be a second?
Now it's lofted ahead. Romay is coming out. They're putting a stop on the clock. I think John Jordan's had about enough from everybody here tonight. Coming forward, putting a stop on the clock. He was immediately approached before he even got all the way there by Bararia. Then Mignon came in, offered his opinion as well. He eventually freezes the clock with 2:43 to go.
Yeah, and that's dangerous too, because if Romay picks up that yellow, he's done. So
Olyadi to the outside. Olyadi keeps the ball in play. Ziegler, nifty footwork. Ziegler dancing along the end line. Just happy to try and play keep away, and he'll generate the corner.
yeah, I mean, this is just perfect. They're doing it exactly the right way. You're going to have to push the limits of the referee's patience. Every team does this. Make him force you to finally make the play and then work it up the sidelines and just play keep away.
They'll work it in short. And they'll generate another corner here inside 2 minutes to go. Ziegler again over there. Warriors just again happy to work it in the corner. Another throw to come here for the Warriors. Possession is the name of the game right now for Merrimack. They have it. And deep in the Dartmouth third. Throw coming this time for the Big Green, despite the protestations. Now we're going to have a stoppage. The ball thrown in over there.
Yeah, and that was a super heads-up play there to draw that yellow, because he was in the way. He wasn't moving, so just quickly played it off of him. Forces the referee's hand and results in the booking.
Yellow going here against Yuri Schlingman. Less than 90 ticks to go here at Burnham Field. Dartmouth desperately seeking the equalizer right now. Trenton Blake put the Big Green in front in the 27th minute, 1-0. 2 goals scored in the second half have both been by the Warriors. Laurie Goodard in the 48th minute and Liam Ziegler in the 67th. A race coming to the ball. Day will just play it back. Left here for Rodriguez with Jenkins in pursuit. Loft across midfield. Fenton pops up a header. Rugland with Fed trying to find space behind him. It comes back to White. Schlingman, a flick to himself. Schlingman tries to work through a double team. Schlingman maintains touch. Sent wide. Olyadi. Announcement for less than a minute has gone out now. Back towards midfield. Kivage and Jenkins in a battle. Throw to come here for the Big Green. Inside 40 seconds will go.
Yeah, just have to be aware here.
No, a foul. No, it is going to be a throw. It's a throw coming.
And that was a lot of precious seconds that just ticked off.
Ellis, long down the line. Blasted away by Romay. Ellis will turn. 20 seconds to go. Magnon back for Ellis. Loses his footing. White has time. White will push forward. This one chipped into the Warrior bench. Dartmouth desperately looking for one last miraculous push, but the final seconds will tick down as Jenkins will give chase. Clock will strike all zeros, and the Warriors of Merrimack come into Burnham Field, and they'll come away with a hard-fought 2-1 victory over the Big Green of Dartmouth tonight.
Yeah, I mean, just textbook. I mean, that time kill at the end was textbook. We're able to waste a lot of time, and then offensively, the build-ups were just beautiful to watch today. Resulted in a lot of opportunities, and in the second half, they started converting, and that's been the difference.
Trenton Blake, the first year with his first ever collegiate tally for the Big Green, comes in the 27th minute of half number 1. Liam Ziegler with the game winner coming in the 62nd after Laurie Goddard was able to find the back of the net in the 48th. Alvaro Rodriguez, 2 saves here tonight. Costi Christodoulou, 4 saves for Dartmouth in the losing effort. Big Green back in action on Saturday when they travel down to New Jersey for their Ivy opener against Princeton. Meanwhile, for the Warriors of Merrimack, they also dive into conference play on Sunday when they take on Sacred Heart down in Fairfield.